All right, party people, how we doing today? It's the nine of us. Who really cares? We're still gonna do this and share homes. It's all love. I don't really need anybody else except for these beautiful nine people in this thing right now. So yeah. Uh, Today is Feast or Famine. We really wanted to talk about food themes, which I love. And I think one of our partners in this is the Fledge, who does amazing things for the community, makes food a little bit more accessible for the community. So let's clap it up for that. We could do all the I love and respect Jerry so much for all the things that you do for the community. Even when you get pushback, you don't budge, you don't get scared. And I respect that so much. Um, so I'm gonna do my first piece, and it's really about reclaiming my name. I think my name is an important thing. It's the first piece of culture that I can give to anybody. So if anybody ever messes my name up, I always got to tell them how to pronounce it, right? And I'm grocery shopping, and the meat clerk yells out, "Order out for Mikishi, Miyaki. Is it Masako? You, it's Masaki." Actually, I think to myself after I correct the pronunciation of my name, where do these other letters come from? Miyaki, really? And why is this person chuckling? Did I miss the joke? Or maybe I would find the irony hilarious if I wasn't so annoyed waiting for my order in this deli as the cashier apologizes for butchering my name. At this point, I'm used to it. My name is a wave of a tattered flag. It is my address. You could tell where I am from because even though they don't think a name defines a person, mine gives me definition. My name is Masaki Takahashi. It is the pride of my mother. It is the only remnants of my father I have left. My name means high bridge, flourishing tree, as if my parents were prophets, knowing of the troubled waters I'd have to encounter while still trying to stay rooted in this life. My name does not mean roadkill to the lead-foot lips speeding too fast to notice the syllables they ran over. It is not a carcass for these vultures to pick at. I could remember always having to fight for this name. Schoolyard bullies hunting me like dead meat. Kids who heard my name and turned the jungle gym into a kill cage. Who wouldn't let me play on the swings, so I had to learn how to swing. Busted lip, black eyes, swollen fists. I have bled for this name, and my name will not submit to the slaughterhouse sensibility. Will not be anglicized for resumes or changed for anyone's convenience. It is not appropriate to appropriate, to cut down into perfect model minority pieces for the Shakuru spread acceptance. My name, it is Masaki. It is the one my mother gave me, the family recipe that I was made from. It is my favorite comfort food, the hot pot boiling that brings everyone together. And when I hear my name, it is also the ginger root that treats the inflammation of all the times I ache for letting myself disappear. So today, it will not be slaughtered because I would rather starve than allow anyone to butcher my name. Y'all can clap it up for that. I wrote that. I know it's good because I wrote that shit. Woo! Right? If you write it, just you feeling yourself, you just feel yourself. Um. Anyways, yeah, I just think that's an important part of introducing myself as your name, and that's all that I'm given. I also love talking trash, and that is why I write poetry. Um, I like to talk about certain things that I see, I feel. I'm not very imaginative, but I feel things, and I gotta say things. So I write this review from my toilet as I'm taking this shit. It feels like all of my life I've been taking this shit. My stomach feels this pain like any culture knows appropriation. Like Chuck Berry knows Elvis, the katana of a samurai knows Tom Cruise. This cuisine was once how we defined love. The oldest known language surviving dynasty, but like being dwindled down to a Chinese tattoo on a frat boy. When I taste this soulish dish, it all means nothing. I tried their miso ramen. It came with a miso joke. The joke said, "Me so hungry." I actually trusted eating at a ramen shop owned by people who have less seasoning in their skin than they do in their food. What can they tell me about surviving my childhood, being mocked for the way my clothes hug the aroma of last night's dinner like a security blanket? How it reminds me of every time I brought noodles to the school lunch made by my master chef of an uncle. Kids would say I was eating worms, called it dirty and disgusting. But if we are what we eat, then I'm gorgeous tradition, gourmet greatness, while they're gorging and grotesque dry bread and full of bologna. So many cultures they've stolen and mashed together like processed meat. Now they have no idea what originality tastes like. So when they steal my people's shit, similar to what's happening right now, they like to call it something cute like a food fusion. But the problem is for there to be fusion, they would to have something unique of their own to fuse with. Nothing's being brought together, rather it's being broken apart. And that's how I imagine how yellow face would taste. Too salty, like their broth or me licking my own wounds. I got to the end of their bowl just to be sitting on this one. My stomach, it's still bubbling. It feels like a city that is being gentrified from the inside out, and they keep doing this. They shouldn't wear a cheap hat to prom. They stole anime, made a live action Dragon Ball with a white Goku. Even this language that you and I are speaking right now, it's a great value version of actual English. So they are bootlegging my food, colonizing my culture, and whitewashing my wontons. Sorry, we do not romanticize theft by calling it inspiration. Sorry, 0 out of 5 stars. Cannot recommend this place. But what would you expect from people who like to season their food on the 1 and 3 and try to pass it off as their own remix? All right, people. Thank you so much. We got an awesome event today. Really dope, talented people who have done so much with their work as well. And a lot of them have books that you can go out and purchase as well. So if our poets afterwards want to put down their contact where they could buy their book, that would be awesome. And next up, we are going to have Alyssa. Let's get it up for Alyssa.
Hi, everybody. I'm not super high tech, so bear with me 1 second. Well, thank you all for being here. It is awesome to be here with all of you. You're all so wonderful and talented, and it's such an honor to share a virtual stage with everybody. Um, the first poem that I prepared to read to you is a love poem for my soon-to-be wife, Mia, called Soul Food. When I met you, starved for tenderness, you fed me dinner in that tiny kitchen overlooking the duck pen, spiced with summer. You taught me a new flavor of love, one that stays on my tongue long after the meal is over. Like soul food, like a slow cooked meal, this is what a good love does to a body. You satiate me from the inside out. Thank you. Short and sweet. So the next poem I'm going to read, when I heard there was a Slate food theme, was the first one that came to mind, directly relating to my favorite food, which is pizza. So with that, this is called In the Name of Good Health. One person cooks, the other cleans. This is my mother's rule in the kitchen. My father is most nights the dishwasher, except in the summers when he makes homemade pizza, around the same time of year that we would visit my grandfather and would leave with cheeks red from all the cherry tomatoes we'd pick in his garden. Those tomatoes always end up in the salad that my mother insists we eat alongside the pizza in the name of good health. It's golden when both of my parents are cooking, my father watching the oven, my mother chopping the vegetables, my sister and I alternating between eating the pepperoni slices and laying them in perfect pattern on the pizza, So every bite would have the best ratio of pepperoni to cheese. Food must be perfect, or what is the point? This must be perfect. This family dancing around each other in the kitchen, scolding the dog for stealing the cheese that dropped on the floor. My place at the table has tiny stabs in the wood from banging my fork tongs down as a baby. I wonder why I did that. Was I hungry? Did I like the noise? Maybe every living thing just wants to leave its mark. We always sit at the same places. My father to my left, sister across, my mother to my right. My whole life has been this way, meaning my parents have always been by my side. I know how lucky I am for this. My father gets the first slice. He sprinkles Parmesan on his pizza, looks around the table like this meal he made cannot compare to the family he has built. Like all his dreams are sitting right here at the table with him, like this moment could last forever. Nothing can take this away. And I wonder now if he knows this, now that he cannot eat, now that the cancer is devouring him. I want to tell him, nothing you made will ever be lost. I remember. I know the recipe. I can make the pizza again. Grow tomatoes and name each leaf after you, my starting point. Don't worry. I will be too busy remembering you to ever forget, and nothing you made will ever be lost, even me. Thank you.
Mm. Can I hear that make your mark line again real quick, real quick. Yo, let's hear that again, please.
Maybe every living thing just wants to leave its mark.
The couple bars before that, because I love the couple bars leading out to that. I was like, ooh, that was phenomenal.
My place at the table has tiny stabs in the wood from banging my fork tongs down as a baby. I wonder why I did that. Was I hungry? Did I like the noise? Maybe every living thing just wants to leave its mark.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
It's
Let's give it
true
up
that
for
table is still, it has dents in it. That's not just like a metaphor or something. I really did bang the fork and no one knows why.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We do have one of the poets. I know that you got another gig right after this as well. So let's give it up for Jeremy. Let's go, Jeremy.
Hey! Thank you all for having me. Hi, Lexi. I'm so excited to be here. Um, all right, I'm going to read some a couple poems from. These are from. I don't know if we're doing like a little setup thing, but these are from an upcoming book called Belly God, which is going to be out in 2026, and a lot of it is about like disordered eating, body image, masculinity, desire, and God. My favorite. So the first poem that I'm going to read comes from a series of I was trying to do a bunch of like odes to parts of my body that I have a complicated relationship with. And most of the odes ended up being failed odes. And this is the only one I think that's actually going to end up in the book. And it's called Failed Ode to My Penis. Don't worry, it's not that long. Here we go. Failed Ode to My Penis. Oh, storm wand. Oh, snow dragon. Oh, seething traveler with your sack slung over your shoulder, sack of treasures, sack of miracles, wrinkle stretchy planet bag. It is time to try to make a praise for you. A big old praise for little old penis. Oh, penis, you go with me everywhere, like a goblin standing on a big raft howling his fucking goddamn head off. Oh, penis, if you were a musical, you might not have all the production value of a Les Miserables, but you would make me just as sad. Alas, my cranky Javert, it seems we shan't find who we're searching for. I shall remain forever uneasy with lust, getting up for a snack when the actors start kissing, wondering if desire makes me a monster, the instrument of an organ's gory history. Yes, I long to penetrate the mystery and am ashamed. I long for an exuberant coupling with the name and am ashamed. My mother inquires, do I wish for a child? I attend my friend's 1 year old's birthday party and look, everyone's got them. Toddlers and spouses, avocado stains on their blouses, stories about how they used to think they knew what being tired meant. Oh, praise and bless and exalt. Of course I wish for a child. I play with the ones at the party, and all my friends gather around to tell me what a wonderful uncle I'm going to make. And this one is called Softness. But when I talk about loneliness, I'm talking about softness. And when I talk about softness, I'm talking about being a big man, which insinuates at least a suggestion of violence. The way I like to wear my hair and my beard, this irascible Russian monk's face, which I've tried to soften with round tortoiseshell glasses and a desperate lightness about the eye. But still, I am, compared to most men, I would say, hulking. So when I talk about loneliness, yes, retribution is implied. I played Judd Fry in my high school production of Oklahoma. And members of the wrestling team told me how frightening I was. And I was infatuated with the girl playing Lori, who was infatuated with the boy playing Curly. And I let my patchy beard come in and stalk the hallways. I might have told you I was being method, but it was just an excuse to be for a little while as angry as I was, mad dogging the day from underneath my eyebrows, imagining I was the kind of man who could set a barn on fire for love, but I wasn't. I was a Ferdinand, yearning to sit just quietly and eat roses thrown by women into the arena around me and imagine for a moment that those roses were for me and not the matador who would come to cut me down. I felt like that, but in fact, I was cruel to my peers. I body-checked a fatter boy against the lockers and laughed and made him laugh with me. I had earned, I felt, this cruelty and have had to unlearn it and learn softness instead because loneliness was trying to turn me into something I despise. It still tries. I was the fat boy, then I was the fat man. I see the men the women want instead of me and must wrestle myself away from brutal conclusions when I feel it rise up, that awful thing, older and crueler than I am. And so I must remain soft, committed to softness, must deliver myself every moment to softness, must stay in this room and water my plant and imagine how soft I will be, how terribly soft should I drag myself out of these circles and back into the world.
Nice.
Wow, those are some bars. I really like how you went from like the penis one into softness as well.
We've all
Yeah,
been
that's pretty good.
I wasn't sure if that was on purpose or what.
No,
but
I
was
liked it. I liked it.
It's all on purpose, maybe. in some intelligence, it's on
No,
purpose.
it's pretty good.
Thanks.
I appreciate your stuff.
No problem.
I've been a big fan of your work as well. So let's give it up for Jeremy.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much for having me. And I'm so sorry I have to like jet immediately. I'm going to stay for a little while and hear as much as I can. But I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. That's awesome. Up next,
Thank you.
we got someone from MSU, runs the MSU Poetry Club, and let's give it up for Claire. Let's give it up for Claire.
Hi everyone. Sorry I'm a little late. My Zoom wasn't letting me in, so I'm really happy to be in the Zoom now, in here. Okay, it's my first virtual event. This is very exciting. So, I have two poems, both one new, one old, just how I like to do it. And this first one is called Good Girl. I've been a good girl. I've been eating correct portions and using two kinds of moisturizer. I've been taking care of things, of you, of me, of you again. I've been a good girl. I kept the sweater people complimented me on. I've been growing my hair out. I'm remembering what it's like to be adored. I do not speak out of turn, and I do not drink anything that does not make me the better version than the me that is already happening. It's still always about the body, but I've been good about that. I've been so good. I stopped picking, stopped asking you too many questions, and even told you why. I read sometimes. I talk about the things I should be talking about. I've been good and pink and open and exhaustive. I'm trying to think less and be good for you and me both. I want you to text me, but I keep my phone on Do Not Disturb because I've been good about putting myself first. I mean, loving myself. Yeah, I've been really good. In my small head, I've been a good daughter and a good friend and a good ex-girlfriend and a good person too. It's taken a lot of time, though if you asked me to undo it all, I'd probably be nice and say yes. I've been a good girl at the bar and in the car and before bed. I've been good about the bite-sized portions of this. I am exceptional at snacking. I've been so good that when you kiss me, I hold on to it for 2 weeks instead of three. I was good to hesitate and good to check in and good to be aware. Good job, me. I'm good. I wash my dishes, fold my underwear, and rest my beautiful head. I suspect I used to practice this in the womb before the show started. Trying to be good is such a natural practice. I know just how to try. I've been a good girl. I do small things all day long and cry in private. I keep things well oiled, keep things fresh. I'm good about remembering you and good about the longing, and I'm very, very good at knowing just when to stop talking. This is where I leave you. I'm good at this part too. Goodbye. Thanks.
Wow.
That was
Awesome.
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no
Um,
problem.
all of the goods are capitalized. I should have maybe said that, but like the G is capitalized. And good. Okay. Number two. This one's untitled because it's super new. Okay. Some mothers say that standing in front of the microwave too long gives you cancer. My mother said she would put soap in our mouths if we said terrible things, and through the grapevine, I heard that if you made a strange face too long, it would just get stuck like that. And some people believe very wild sounding things to get them through the days in a way that feels all right. I've never really been anywhere too quickly to forget it. Fortunately, it appears that I am all or nothing, and I've been like this all my life, and there's no sign of stopping. Go figure. Some mothers say that if you do things a certain way, other things will happen a certain way. My mother has said that tomorrow starts you over, and at school, I heard that when your body changes the once, it is forever. There's always been something wonderfully tragic about believing too hard, too fast. I want to believe in what people say, because I'd like to think people are generally good and mean it. It's easier that way. Some mothers say you shouldn't be too trusting. My mother says to pull up a seat for everyone at the table. I believe in this because I believe in everything, and also because I trust good on good. It's easier that way, I think, and mother knows best. Thank you very much
Oh, I love it.
Yo, let's give it up for Claire. That
for
was
having
really
me.
good.
Thank you. I'm excited to hear everyone else's. Okay. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for that. This is Claire's senior year. Claire has done amazing things with the poetry room. So, super proud of you. Let's clap it up for Claire and all the compliments and all the love. Um, up next, this person, I knew her from Mega's workshop as well. Um, made me change my mind on Instagram poetry. No diss there. I'm not gonna try to catch that. I'm not trying to catch that smoke anymore. But definitely made me see poetry, short form poetry, in a whole different way, because she can dunk on you in any kind of form if she wanted to, and that's what I had to learn the hard way. So let's give it up for Raquel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I am going to read some poems from my forthcoming collection, I'll Cry If I Want to. It's coming out this January. And it's about all the things, mostly womanhood. So, the first poem's called Backwards After Warsaw-shire. I tell the devil I am taking back the good side of the wishbone. Pull my mother from the grave and give the devil back his whiskey, his vodka, his box of pink wine. Walk back into my mother's apartment, hug her now strong limbs, find the words in the back of my throat, and tell her I love her. And it is not the last time. 16 again, and she does not chase me down the street, her knees falling into grass. Screams are swallowed, tears rise back up through eyelashes. There are no grass stains, just a kiss goodnight. I tell the devil I am taking back the torch, taking back the strong side of the woman I call mom. She puts the bottle back on the shelf, buys her brown-eyed daughter a paperback novel where the ending is happily ever after. She watches me pick out my wedding gown, tells me I am beautiful, squeezes my hand as I push her first grandson into the world. I tell the devil I'm taking back the moment alcohol sank its teeth into my mother's future. Pull apart its jaws and yank her body right from its mouth. I walk back into her apartment and tell her I love her. And it is not the last time.
Well,
Mm. I'm pretty sure I wrote this poem in Megan's workshop. Actually, a lot of the poems in this I wrote there. If no one's taken it, take it. Megan Pelle is amazing. This poem is called When My Daughter Gets Her Period, I Will Tell Her Her Period is a Bad Bitch. She doesn't care who might be trying to tiptoe his way into your underwear. Let them see. Let them see the copper bowl maroon stain. You are a woman. Paint the town red. When you say you are on your period and men mumble gross under their breath, she gets cranky, grows sharp teeth, bites their ignorant hands. She knows there is nothing disgusting about your superpower, one that bears beautiful children and gives life to the men whose appetites are cramped by the iron of your sacrifice. She will never let you settle for a lover who won't smile at blood on the sheets. Smile when you ask him to buy the tampons. She does not ask permission to show up at the party, and when you find yourself without your plastic tube armor and sweat beads at your forehead, she whispers, do not coil into yourself. Do not mourn the fabric of your ivory dress. Stand up straight like men do in their three-piece suits. Shows you how to wear the 5 extra pounds you're bloated on a revolution. Takes your mood swings and twirls them like the hands of a biological clock. Refuses to let you wipe your fickle tears that flow for babies on TV screens. Appreciates the tenderness of your breasts, still soft like when a girl is first born. She will teach you that the pit of your body should not be seen as punishment. You own the cherry. Create a noose out of the stem. Decide that no one will make you feel shame or the siren between your legs.
Right.
Thank you.
Bars. Can I hear that news line again? Just real quick. Just a couple of lines before that.
Yeah. If I can find it. Oh, I lost it.
And y'all I think your
Oh.
books are some of the prettiest books that like aesthetically I
Thank
think they're so
you.
gorgeous. And I always
This
tell you
is a
that I'm
new
like
one. Oh, you can see it. Thank you. Um, she will teach you that the pit of your body should not be seen as punishment. You own the cherry. Create a noose out of the stem. Decide that no one will make you feel shame for the siren between your legs.
bars. Bars. That's crazy. But anyways, this is the time of the halftime thing where we have Jerry, tell us a little bit more about the Fledge and why people who are watching, even though it's a few of us, why how they can help, donate, and be part of this wonderful community as well. So let's get it up for Jerry.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you very much. Um, this is sort of intimidating because I'm here trying to put these words out there, and this is what you all do all of the time. But I think that it also has motivated me to do better, to do as well as I can tonight. So, first of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for soliciting donations for the Fledge. I am a little bit shaken right now because I'm in Lansing, Michigan. It is snowing outside. The temperature is going to drop to somewhere between 12 and 9 degrees tonight. And the city's issued a code blue. And I'm starting to think about our neighbors that are out there on the streets in the city that raised me, and thinking about how we're going to have to react to this, and how, we're going to open up tomorrow, let people in, let them thaw out, let them get warm, give them coffee, do whatever we can to help the people that are sometimes suffering the most. And I'm trying to mix this in with poetry in this event right now, and it is so clear to me how it does mix in, because imagine if I just start this whole conversation with, um, well, I've really got to go and I've got to go do this and I'm going to go do that. And it was just transactional. But because poets exist, because artists exist, we get to use our language in ways we didn't really think we could have in the beginning of our journey of communicating. And just hearing you, um sorry, I'm looking at the comments a little bit. Is the volume okay? Everything's okay?
Yeah, I think we just had a troll on here, so we're just taking it off. So I'm
Oh,
like, yo,
okay.
happens.
Messed up my flow a little bit, but I got it. I'm making this up pretty much anyway. Um, but I think about poetry and I think about how important it is. I have a degree in mathematics. It's not exactly where somebody thinks, "Oh, he must love poetry. He loves math." But I think that poetry is a part of math. It is a type of math where you taking all of this data in the world and kind of compiling it into something that we can understand. And I've loved all of your poems so far. I can't wait to hear the rest of them. And it takes me to a moment in just a short little verse, a short sentence that describes so much of this world. And I wanted to start out knowing that I look at poetry, I look at art not as some luxury, something that we do on the side, something that exists outside of the real world. It is a necessity. To me, it is a basic need. It is the way that we communicate and how much better you make us because you help us communicate better. So I'll get right to it. The Fledge focuses on four pillars. One is getting people basic needs. The second is to fight for our democracy and practice democracy every single day. Making this available to everybody out on the internet, everybody that can't always make it to Robin Theater, because of whatever reason they're so far away or they're busy. Thank you so much for letting us all participate. We think about prosperity and how people should not be oppressed at their job, that they should be given a living wage, that they should have opportunity to be prosperous, and how that American dream has lied to us so often. And I think that, even last night, we had our youth entrepreneurial program and these kids doing these pitches. They have 3 minutes to sum it all up and convince the judges to give them $1,000. And 16 kids standing up there, they were poetic. They were the ones that won, especially, that really communicated it. Um, they were poetic. And I'm thinking about tonight as I'm watching last night, and you have not let me down at all. Just, I can't wait to kind of summarize this in a second. And then our last thing is cooperative ownership and building wealth. And I want to make it clear that when I say wealth, I'm not talking about Elon Musk and all of his cronies. I'm talking about us having well-being, us having prosperity, and us being able to sit in a room and just not have to worry about where is our house coming from, where's our health care coming from, where's our food, our child care, our transportation. How are we going to get what if none of us ever had to worry about that? Imagine what we could do. Well, how much art we could create, how much more we could innovate and invent and build a future that is relevant and meaningful and fulfilled for all of us. And if you want to know what the Fledge is, uh, I kind of just said it. It is a deep love for our community. It is um, justice for all of those that have been oppressed and held back and disadvantaged in the past. And it is a future that thinks of all of us. And I work on that every single day, every damn day. Masaki was on my show every damn day. Maybe that's where I got the radio voice, which I don't think I have, for that matter. But I guess I kind of want to summarize it in a way that tells you that I've been listening to you. And I guess you probably want me to say go to thefledge.com. There's a donate button right there. If you would like to support the Fledge, that would be great. That's not the critical thing here. The critical thing here is for me to let you know that I love art, I love poetry. You are entrepreneurs in a perspective or in a way from me. You are creating, you are solving problems, you are telling stories that are comforting people. um, you I love all entrepreneurs and I love all artists, so thank you for what you do. And I hope you get this. I'm gonna leave you with this. I think that, my purpose in life in running the Fledge is to pay back Lansing. I was raised by Lansing. I was radicalized by Lansing. And I guess now I'm just trying to kind of leave my mark. I'm trying to be good. Um, I always tear up when I talk about the how passionate I can be about the people that are out on those streets tonight, or the people that are being somehow held back. And I want to say that, crying, it's okay. I'll be soft if I want to. I've learned that I all my new strength comes from my vulnerability, from my softness. It doesn't come from my old strength. And, you know, thank you, Masaki, very much. Period.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Jerry. And Jerry was on the news, I think it was last year, for, allowing people to be at the Fledge, to warm up, to because we had below freezing, people were freezing out there. And when the city came around and said he had to shut it down, he ran up, was like, "You're not stopping me." I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I think it was very spirit of what I imagine what America is to really do the right thing. And I know personally, I had a friend who said that when she was in a hard predicament, the Fledge was some like that y'all helped her get through that, and it was a scary predicament. What y'all provide, so let's clap it up for that, for these organizations that do help
Thank you.
the citizens of our community. Um, up next, we got more poems. We got more poems. We got more poems for everybody out there, and that's why we're here. Let's give it up for Miriam. Let's go.
Hey everyone. What an absolute joy to share this space with you and to learn about the Fledge and hear each of your poetry. So I have two poems. I'm gonna start with one that Lexi helped me edit. So if it is a strong poem, it is only a strong poem because Lexi helped me. Um, all right. Car is a lethal weapon, Mom says from the passenger seat. My new learner's permit burns in my wallet. Too focused on the road to roll my eyes, I keep my hands at 10 and 2. I'm 60 hours of supervised driving away from full freedom. I've practiced in parking lots, borrowed minutes behind the wheel. I poke at my turquoise braces with my tongue. Her statement is too large, like trying to carry the week's groceries inside alone. I'm not ready to hold its entirety, this weight of new responsibility. I've only ever thought of guns in this way, lethal and from a distance. Mom didn't let us have toy guns, tried to keep violence at arm's length to protect us. Columbine was over a year ago. The news coverage focused on black trench coats, the repetition of the word unpopular. I feel a wretched sympathy for their unattained acceptance, like the time I asked my classmate, the one with modeling experience, if she thought I was pretty, my cheeks flaring when she didn't look up to reply. The carnage happened across the country in a state I've never seen. I've been to 13 states already, most on Mom's business trips. I've told people this with an attempt at a sophisticated smile. I'm not aware this country is an epidemic of massacre. I've been shielded. The middle-aged man glaring alone outside the mall goes unnoticed. My friends and I giggle and shop pop gum without worry when he gets off the bench, follows us inside. 24 years later, I'm pregnant. I build a crib with my partner, but do not baby-proof the rooms, like she exists only in dreams and will never be here in real life. I wait for bad news at every prenatal appointment, and it never arrives, like I'm trying to warn her away from existing. She's born perfect in the warmest November to date. Can winter survive for her? Will she make snow angels? Have a favorite pair of boots? I envision her body nestled in a zippered bag, my hollowed living body identifying hers. Yes, that is her birthmark splashed like muddy water across her thigh. Those are her curling eyelashes, each one an empty wish. How foolish I was to call her mine and think I could keep her. How foolish I've always been. Sorry, I just have to plug in the power cord. So we are back. All right. And this, sorry, Masaki, do you want to say something?
No, if you were gonna take a while, I was just gonna kill the little bit of dead silence with a shout out to all the cats, with all the cats that I see on the screen. Yeah, the cat
Oh,
power.
yeah, they'll be wandering. And then this is called To the God of Gas Station Bathrooms. To the God of the cheapest pregnancy tests, the God of desperation and the morning after, the God of McDonald's dollar menu, the God of expired baked goods, God of uncleaned tiles and lifting blackened grout, God of bleached and hosed walls, to the God of overdoses, the God of Narcan, to the God who watches over the destitute and derailed, the travelers and the forever inert, to the God who revives only a few. God of cruel judgment, God of faulty rebirth, I have prayed to you the most, God of the gas station bathrooms I got high in, and the ones I didn't. I have prayed to you, let someone knock before I break this bundle open. I have prayed to you, let me pretend this is a secret. I have prayed to you for just one more. I have prayed to you for never again. I have prayed to you, let the drugs work tonight. I have prayed to you, let me wake up to a new life. I have prayed to you, let this bag be the one that kills me. I think you want me to tell you I'm grateful to have survived, but that wouldn't be the whole truth. The truth is, I don't know why I'm still here. There are days my body is heavy with shovelfuls of guilt. It's called survivor's guilt for a reason. Why not Phil, who taught me to be a sneakerhead? Why not Diane? Why not Sean? Why not Debbie, who told me my hair looked like cotton candy? Why not Mike? Why not Matthew or Sam or Joe or Angela? You know, there are more names. There will always be more names. There are more names than I can remember. There are names on the periphery of my memory, names blurred together to form a litany. There are names graffitied on your walls, the prayers you never answered, their parents weeping over their waxy bodies. Am I supposed to be grateful for the funerals? Am I supposed to feel saved? Am I supposed to feel chosen? Are you happy with your choices? God of fractured light leaking under the peeling door, sometimes I just want to get high. Sometimes I want to throw my life away because I can't even decide on a pair of shoes, and I can't ask Phil. So, God of the gutter, who should I pray to now?
Wow, good God. Let's give that up for Miriam. Miriam. You could go to Right Bloody and get Miriam's book. Um yeah, let's clap it up, clap it up. Um the next poet before our feature. I told her if she sweep the leg in this competition. What I meant was I asked her to we did these one-on-one competitions. I said to a couple people, I was like, if you 5-0 this next person, I'll put you on a different event, right? Um, she didn't quite 5-0 this person, but it was close enough. It was a 4-1. I was super proud, and I was like, you know what? She's been sweeping people's legs, beating them up. And I just wanted to give her some props. So let's give it up for Becky. Let's give it up for Becky.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It's really quite an honor to be here with you. Thank you, Masaki, for having me. And thank you, Jerry, for telling us about the Fledge. And I'm really excited about all your great work in the city. So thank you so much for all you do. My first poem is called You. Sometimes you can see the places where people have been hurt. I wear mine all over my body and it's heavy, but most people just see it as a disease. A lot of conversations I have end up like this. You'll ask me, how did you survive all of that? I wouldn't have made it. And before I can even answer, you'll ask me, have you ever tried to lose weight? I need to be smaller to be a legit survivor. There's a fine line between worthy and big, and I can't be both. You want me to shrink like oven baked plastic of the 80s when so many just looked the other way. Speaking of which, you abused me were my cortisol colored big body inducing swimsuit covers, you know, the one that reads, do not believe her. And then years later, you find me on Facebook to tell me how fat I've gotten, but you're selling exactly what I need to be healthy. I kept your secrets hidden like taste in that box of protein bars you're peddling like a Sunday evangelist. My biggest sin was saying no more. There's a fine line between victim and vanity. And you welcomed me to this depression club, asked me to take a seat, even offered me some punch. But you won't sit next to me. Am I just too much or not enough? There's a fine line between satisfaction and starvation. There is no spot for me at your table. But I know you like to slice me up to feed yourself. If you tore open my ribs, you would see a beautiful supermodel with long legs and lots of muscle tone. She has cool scars and soft in the right places. She'll give you everything, but she loves herself too. And inside this head that you mold, then mix up as your own as your appetite sees fit, she's a double zero who eats whatever the hell she wants and will crush you in her thigh gap. She knows when to walk away when she isn't wanted. She doesn't even need you. But you don't see any of this. And I'm not sure I do either. But one day I will have the willpower of 1,000 magical skinny girls and be able to say no to the breadcrumbs. But for now, I'm ravenous looking at what's cooking. I want it, and I wonder what I'm going to do when it's ready, because no one ever showed me how to take you off my plate. Thank you, everybody. My next poem is new. I haven't read it out loud for anybody but myself. So this is what they call new shit. Okay. So here we go. New shit. All right. I still feel weird swearing. I don't know places. I'm rated G most of the time. This is called They Do That. A mouse had her babies under the overgrown grapevines, fragile, shivering, and helpless. Mama said small, weak things do that. Our Cocker Spaniel had babies too, but she ate them. Daddy said dogs sometimes do that. As gentle as mamas and daddies can be when they teach you about life and death in the backyard, they can forget to offer comfort in the cold. Dry my tears. I learned the wind can do that. Mama screams like fire echoed through the trailer park, brings me out of a deep sleep, make my cheeks rise from a purple iris pillowcase. I see Mama go purple too. Mama just said daddies do that. Men do that. I still wake in a panic some days long after the screams went silent, the jail cell empty and the graves full. Fear does that. The first time a boy left bruises on me, Mama said, oh, when they like you, boys do that. I said, I'm in love with him, but she only told me I love the idea. I learned to trust that boy and all the boys after him more than myself. Girls do that. I thought a harried life would make it so no one would ever call me trash again. I lost myself, proving everyone wrong. But when people got close, they saw I was still a shivering imposter wearing a shiny garbage bag I tried to pass off as a designer halo. Women do that, but you can only do that for so long. When I decided to keep breathing, I was done being the mouse, and I never wanted to see that backyard again. I rose up from the cinder blocks and built a brick mansion that no one can ever tear down again. Yeah, I'm doing that. I tell my child the truth about the backyard, but she doesn't have a reason to hide. I let her rest without screams, tell her to trust her gut, to put herself first. This mama does that. And so she does that. Thank you.
Oh, you did a great job. You did a great job. You did a great job. So what if we have trolls? That means that we're just doing a good job. We gotta have haters, you know? We gotta have haters. If you don't have haters, you ain't successful enough yet. But Becky, thank you so much for that. Becky's one of our Lansing poets as well. I love how we just transition into like me saying you're gonna be this badass, and then you go, I'm not sure if I know how to swear. So our feature of the night. I would definitely recommend her book. You could purchase it at Right Bloody as well. And I love talking to this person because yes, they're good at editing, and saying just the word poetry is like a 2 hour conversation at least. I remember the first time I asked Lexi, I was like, "Hey, what books are you gonna what books would you recommend?" She just had this long list and told me why. All I was like, I don't have the time to read all of this, but I do want to. And that's just the how passionate she is about poetry, and that's why she is so dope and so successful because that's you have to study your craft. So let's all give it up for Lexi.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for that introduction. Yes, anyone who wants, DM me on Instagram and I will give you all my recommendations. I have quite a lot. This is my one of my poetry bookshelves. So I am an avid reader and I would love to talk poetry with anyone who wants to. Okay, so I'm going to read a selection of poems based on news stories. I found this writing about things in the news was a really good way for me to just kind of play when I am writing, and I've really enjoyed doing it. And yeah, I think it's a really fun way to kind of move the camera off center a little bit. And so this is a poem from my book, Let Go with the Lights On. The bats are having non-penetrative sex in a church. Like Christian kids, hopped up on guilt and hormones, looking for a loophole. The bat's penis is too big, a scientist says in the article, and the tip is heart-shaped. What god of ridiculousness blew into his kazoo to make this morning of sensational headlines and half-burnt toast? There's laundry to fold and an appointment to cancel. The dog won't stop licking what doesn't appear to be a stain from the blanket. What's the difference between making love and making do? What does bat foreplay look like? How do you ask for a touch, but not too much? I'm going to read another news poem. This poem is based on a story that I read many, many years ago, and it just always stuck with me. And I just couldn't stop thinking about it after I read it. It's a very sparse news story. The title of this poem is the actual exact title of the news story, so you can go and look it up. But it's pretty sparse, but it just was one of those things that I never stopped thinking about. Elderly couple found dead, buried under snow. The man on top of the woman, frozen like the slice of wedding cake my mother kept for years in the freezer. They'd been there a week. They walked a mile before giving up and lying down 100 yards from the house they couldn't see through the storm. How close we are to what we'll never reach. I imagine her in snow-soaked denim like a pressed flower beneath him. What they said in their final moment. I'd let the flurries melt into our four-poster bed. We'd role-play safety. Not tonight, honey, I'm tired. Pass the hand cream. You get the light. And I'm going to read one more news poem. This is a newer one. It's How to Tell a Right-Trunked Elephant from a Lefty. Check for the side with ruffled whiskers and wrinkles. Elephants tend to tilt their trucks to scoop fruit, so one half's always a bit shabbier than the other. The end of my husband's left eyebrow is sparse because of the direction he faces while sleeping. All those beat-up tractors heaving diesel across our fields, the fluorescent smirk of strip malls I see as I speed down Route 22. The Canada geese, those trucker swans, those bootlegged angels, if God's got a rumpled, favored side, we're it. We're the word that's been written with a dominant hand. Is it because we longed for more legible script? A world we'd slide our sorrows down as long as it was written in smooth cursive. We're ready to unknow now. When we place Bibles in roadside motel rooms, slide flowers into the spokes of white bikes, when a woman calls the cops and orders half pepperoni, half mushroom while her husband goes to give her daughter a goodnight kiss, we aren't asking for answers. We're asking God to switch hands. And I have one more poem. And it's not based on a news story. Diet Coke. All I saw my mother drink for years. In the diner, served with a striped straw and shredded paper beanie, or sometimes at Stop and Shop just before checkout. Its perfect plastic body pulled from the squat fridge that sits underneath the conveyor belt, but most often sipped from a silver can on the porch. She never asked for ice, never dared to dilute the fizzy pollution of artificial sweeteners. The first time I tried it, I thought it tasted like a backhanded compliment, surprisingly good. The dark, dizzying lake like a cactus burped Splenda into my mouth, the flavor so far from milk or juice, like a fresh squeezed robot, a supermodel's saliva. My sister and I sat around her like the students of Socrates and watched her succumb to the only sweetness she ever allowed herself. A true mother, listening to the questions it spat into the air, voice lifted at the end of every swallowed sentence. Let's play the quiet game, she suggested on long car trips to Hershey or to one of Kate's soccer tournaments, and only then could we all hear it whisper to her from the cup holder as a speed bump puddled the lid, and she brought the spill to her lips.